While daydreaming about future backpacking trips, I had an epiphany. Maybe I could have an even better time out there if I just lightened my pack a little bit. That's when I decided to try out my very first trekking pole tent, Gossamer Gear's The One. And it was a match in ultralight heaven. Weighing in at just 18 ounces, The One sets up in minutes using just trekking poles and a handful of stakes. And The One didn't just lighten my pack, it actually simplified my camp setup so that I had more time to enjoy the natural beauty all around me and allow me to spend more time with my favorite bidet. If you know me, you know. Gossamer Gear designs products for people on the move. Rooted in a legacy of simplification, their philosophy is that taking less allows you to do more. And if you want to test this philosophy yourself, head over to gossamergear.com and use code GEARABBY, that's capital G-E-A-R, capital A-B-B-Y, at checkout to save $20 off your order of $100 or more.
You got questions going out of your mind. Someone with answers now that's hard to find. Like the what and the why and the how stuff works, or just where to go to avoid all the jerks. She's Gear Abby, Gear Abby, Gear Abby, advice that doesn't suck. Gear Abby.
Hello there, my outdoorsy friends, and welcome to Gear Abby, where we tackle the controversial, weird, obscure, and taboo topics that other outdoor podcasts refuse to touch. I'm outdoor educator and writer Shawnté Salabert, and I'm here to answer your burning questions about our relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes. And I want them all because remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice. All right, here's how it works. You're going to send questions to deargearabby@gmail.com, and I'm going to answer a couple each week here on the show. And as always, joining me today is my partner in gear, the producer of Gear Abby, and a man who's able to complete superhuman feats like sending me 3 emails before 6 a.m. on only 3 hours of sleep. That's Colin True.
You know, there's all sorts of superhuman feats that I can accomplish before 6 a.m., like making coffee.
Ooh, that's thrilling.
Having a smoothie.
Oh, wow. That's very advanced, Colin. You're like...
Sometimes I even let out the dog, you know?
Stop. Okay, you're getting ahead of yourself here, buddy. This isn't the bragging podcast, okay?
That's true. That's true.
No, listen, you know what? I will say I have been getting up lately before 6 a.m. And one of the things that makes me super happy, everybody has heard about my corns and my bursitis. And I don't even know if we've talked about my arthritis yet, but I am so excited because my PT told me that I could start running again a couple weeks ago. And so, but he did say, he's like, okay, 1 minute run, 1 minute walk. And I thought I would be a little frustrated with it, but honestly, I was just so happy to get back out there and run. And it felt like sort of readopting beginner's mind. So it was a very, very exciting moment for me.
Okay, I'm very happy for you. It's always exciting to get that kind of all clear from the PT to start doing things, right? Especially when you're like told you can't do anything. And you have to sit there and just be miserable. Right.
Yes.
Right. And then you start planning like, when I'm finished with this, I'm going to hike around the world or whatever it is.
I'm going to run around the world.
What do you really want to run? I had running sort of taken away from me, and like it's been almost 3 years, and I'm like, I'm still okay.
You were secretly glad with it.
Yeah. You're
like,
that's fine. You can milk this for as long as you want, Shawnté. Like you don't have to run.
Oh, damn it! I may have to reconsider. Colin, I will say I'm still on my endorphin high from my run this morning. So you may not get me to let it go so easily. So we'll see.
No,
we'll see.
There is nothing like running and that endorphin high. I will I am kidding when I say, but also there is just when you hit that sweet spot. There's nothing quite like that. People who don't really run have never run. That's why you got to do it.
That's why you got to do it. You got to chase the high, man. Well, while I am on that high, I feel like whoever has the first question here is in for a real treat because I am buzzing. So let's harness this energy for good.
This is a bit of a different question. I'm excited about this one. This is not quite in the same, sort of, hiking, backpacking, running / bidet question that we've gotten so far. So this is exciting. Here we go. This is do you want to know who it's from first, or should I just read the holy thing?
I think just read that. Did you say the holy thing? Read the holy question to me. Is it the Pope?
Speaking of holies, your bidet video was fantastic. All right.
Oh, thank you. If y'all aren't checking it out, social media, Instagram.com/GearAbbyPod. I make very bad reels and post them on there occasionally.
They're very good reels. I will correct Gear Abby. She's wonderful.
Thank you, Colin.
Okay, first question. Here we go. Dear Gear Abby, what advice do you have for someone who wants to be outdoorsy but fights against her bougie nature? Signed, asking for a friend. It's obviously not me.
Is that part in italics? I like that.
I whispered that part.
I like that. That was good. You're very good at this. We've talked
Had to sell
about
it,
you and
you
your
know?
voice, your voice acting, non-voice acting. That was beautifully done, Colin. I would go see that movie. I would go see the movie version of you reading emails.
For me reading questions
That's
to people?
right.
Yes.
I would. I mean, that's like every week when we record, looking at you on the Zoom screen, it is like watching a movie of my favorite radio announcer, Colin True. I don't know why I want to announce you like a wrestler now. The next
I
week.
want a wrestler's entrance. That's
Okay,
exactly how I need my walk-in music,
We're gonna do it.
pyrotechnics.
Okay.
That's all I ever wanted.
We're doing it next week. People, just get excited about this. All right. So first, I think this is actually the second person who signed their email, quote, asking for a friend. So y'all,
I think you're right.
It is okay to come up with a fake name. I promise the email sign-off police will not come get you. But all right.
Also, don't be embarrassed about your question.
Yeah,
If
don't.
it's your question, just ask the question.
Listen, the very first episode, wasn't it my mom who wrote in with a poop question for the first
It
question?
was, actually.
So
Yes.
I think let's all just listen. There's no shame, remember? No dumb questions. But asking, all right, let me actually throw a question your way. What is your definition of bougie? Like, what does that word mean to you? What about it is holding you back from sort of surrendering to your outdoorsy overlords? Is it, about feeling clean, looking good, having high-end items, not sweating, like being waited on? I'm gonna dig in with some broad suggestions that'll hopefully hit on at least one of these, but I think really sit with that while you're listening. All right, so first, thinking about being bougie but wanted to get outdoorsy, consider starting out with a guided trip or an all-inclusive kind of event where somebody else is going to take care of all the details and maybe even pamper you a bit. For example, every year I teach at the Adventurous for Women Bend Escape, and it's a fully catered 3-day weekend in Bend, Oregon, where you spend the days doing things like mountain biking, yoga, stand-up paddleboarding, climbing with these badass female guides. And then the evenings, you're doing like wine tastings, getting your sauna on, eating gourmet meals, and just, hanging around a campfire with other badass women. And my friend Severia, who runs the program, also guides trips around the world that are equal parts, outdoorsy and bougie. And she's not the only one. There are tons of outfitters and programs out there like this, and they vary as far as price and bougie scale. But it's a good way to kind of dip your toe in and still feel like you're indulging on that, luxurious side of yourself. But if you're more interested in like a solo or close to home experience, I'd say start slow. You don't need to go full Cheryl Strayed or start living in a van in Yosemite Valley to begin exploring the glorious feeling of dirt under your well-manicured nails. And you can make your nails as nice as you want them. We're going to get into that. So let's hit on a few things here. If you're intrigued by camping, but you're worried it might cramp your style, try out a weekend in like a camper van, a cabin, a yurt, or a glamping setup before you try kind of like regulation issue tent camping, or even backpacking. I have a good story. I will never forget the time my friends and I went to a wine festival and decided to camp at a nearby state park, which was a normal thing for all of us except for one. And that was my friend Anna, who is the most indoorsy person I know. She rented a giant Moroccan tent. It was like a circus tent full of Moroccan goods that her poor husband lost at least a year of his life setting up. There was a full-size bed. There were ottomans,
I
rugs.
love Anna. I'm just saying, I don't know Anna, but she's my new favorite person.
You would love Anna. She's actually really great.
Yeah? All right, good. I want to meet Anna and her Moroccan circus tent.
Do you want to know how much you'd love Anna? Is that when I started backpacking long trails, I think when I first started on the PCT, I kept a poop diary for her as a joke, and she still talks about it, and that was a long time ago.
That's the best.
She's like, if you ever want to do one again. And it was just me detailing like where I took my daily constitutionals and what it was, like what the environment was like.
Whoever had question one for Gear Abby's poop talk.
I know you're going to
the
put a
big
ding
winner
in
today.
there, aren't you? Y'all, if you hear dings, if you hear like little ding pings in the background, that is Colin's way of creating what are usually both useful and hilarious footnotes on the show notes each week, which live over at rockfight.co. That is the Rockfight website and home of Gear Abby. But yeah, it was you would love Anna. She's great. It was like stepping into a movie set. But that was roughing it for her. That was a big deal.
Right.
I got her later on to come up to a cabin with me, and she kept calling it camping. I'm like, no, we're in a cabin. There's a gas-powered grill. There's a direct TV in the living room. But yeah, there's something out there for you. You don't need to start and be disgusting immediately. So even if you don't want to sleep overnight, let's say you're starting even smaller and you want to dip your beautiful baby soft feet into daytime only pursuits, biking, hiking, fishing, paddling, whatever, you don't have to go fully feral right off the bat or ever if you don't want. You really don't. It's not a requirement to be a dirtbag. So first of all, this goes for people of all genders, body sizes, abilities. You do not need to look or dress a certain way to enjoy being outside. Just let that sink in for a second. If you want to wear makeup, wear it. If you want to do your hair up in a certain way, do it. If you want to go out there and feel cute, attractive, strong, sexy, like a mermaid, whatever you want, go for it. Okay. There are, as far as clothing goes, there's a lot of brands now making kind of technical and outdoorsy gear and clothing that isn't just, khakis. You don't need to look like Steve Irwin. Okay. Ripton, Scenic, Hiker Kind, Vuori, Livsin, Gramici, Thacker, Paka. I could go on and on and on. There are so many cool brands making things that are outside of like the, lumberjack norm. Whatever you do choose, my fancy asking for a friend, I do recommend wearing clothes that you don't mind getting sweaty in and that will help you feel comfortable doing whatever you're doing. So booty shorts are probably going to be uncomfortable if you're riding horses.
Yeah, pants required for that.
Pants required for that, just from a
right.
comfortability perspective, safety.
Right.
If you don't want horse parts on your inner thighs, I don't know. That's all technical terms. I'm clearly a horse girl.
Horse parts.
Horse
yes.
parts.
New band name.
I just laughed in horse. Okay. You get the drift. Okay. Don't wear jeans kayaking. We'll come across these things on future episodes, but so wear what you'd like within reason. Enjoy being yourself out there. You don't need to shift into a totally different person to enjoy being outside. And if you get the ick thinking about being dirty, which I think is part of being bougie for a lot of people, you could do something like just wear long pants, wear long sleeves, a hat, sun gloves, a bandana, all of which will help keep the dirt off of your delicate skin. Bring along cleaning supplies that you can use afterwards. I cannot deny the power of a wet wipe bath. But I know friends who even bring like full solar shower setups and they just do a hose down before we leave the parking lot. So, even just changing into a fresh pair of clothes after you've been sweating and can feel really amazing. I also recommend treating yourself. Part of being bougie is treating yourself to some post-activity snacks and beverages.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
That's 90% of the reason we do these things.
We do these things so we could eat and drink afterwards. 900%. Like, keep it in a cooler in your car if you want, as long as you're not in Baratory. Colin loves
great
Colin
callback
loves
here,
it.
Abby.
Thank you. I'll be here all day. Or just head out to a grocery store, a restaurant, a bar, or whatever. But yeah, there's so many options out there. It's not, being outside doesn't require you to feel disgusting about yourself. Remember how I asked you to define bougie early on? Let's go back to that. And let's say that bougie, at the very least, is taking care of yourself and feeling good about yourself. So why not reframe and think about spending your time outdoors as kind of the ultimate luxury gift to yourself, especially if you've got fresh underwear and cold drinks waiting at the end,
I think you're spot on. All of this advice is great. I do want to go back to like, what's the activity you're interested in?
Right.
I think what is it you want to do? Because there's going to be elements of grossness and stuff probably with any of them that you're not going to feel very bougie. But it's kind of like, if you're just saying, hey, I want to be outdoorsy. Yeah. Well, then you really are kind of, what a lot of the advice I think Shawnté is giving you is you're kind of like butting up against the more gatekeepy aspects of the outdoor community of like, well, you can't be that way and do these things, right? And it's like, no, but when you start to go outside and you discover the activities you like, then you start to be okay with some of those little like, oh, you know what? Actually, I tried walking in with crampons on ice, or I tried snowshoeing, or I tried skiing, or whatever it is. All of a sudden, the activity starts to justify the non-bougie elements of each sport, right? And I think that's kind of like, what is it that really kind of gets you going? But if you just want to be outside, then be as bougie as you want. Anybody gives you shit for it, tell them to fuck off. It's kind of like just like, hey man, I'm outside doing my thing. Leave me alone.
As always, Colin with the excellent advice. Colin, it's just so nice having you here. I'm trying to imagine back when I was a school social worker what it would have been like to have you as my backup with the kids. I would give them my advice and then you'd be like, yeah, just tell them to fuck off.
I think we would have been excellent good cop, bad cop.
That's true.
You would have been like, listen, I understand how you're feeling about these things. It's really hard. These emotions at your age are difficult. Tell them to fuck off.
Oh my God. All right. What do we have next?
All right, here we go. Dear Gear Abby, are there limitations to what water filters and purifiers can or cannot do? In other words, are there things like blue-green algae or other toxins that simply cannot be treated safely using traditional methods? If avoidance of these, this is a really smart person who wrote this email. Because I feel like I'm reading a textbook right now. If avoidance of these potentially deadly toxins is the only answer, then what advice can you give to help me? And in turn, my often inquiring REI customers, we have a shop floor worker here, folks, avoid encountering the dysentery demons that might be lurking in the watery depths. Sincerely, you wanted a sign off gear, Abby?
Yes.
Here we go. Sincerely, Bubble Gut Boris. BGB.
Yes.
Oh, please, BGB, be a repeat writer. We need more letters from you. This is great.
Yes, please, Bubblegut Boris. We want more. This was a beautifully crafted email, I will say. There was a whole front end to the email. I saw it earlier. And it would have been too long to read, but it was really amazing. And it sounds like they had an experience once with the norovirus, so it's also steeped in personal experience.
Oh, haven't we all, BGB?
Not all of it. Well, yeah. I don't know. I will say dysentery demons is a beautiful turn of phrase. So yes, thank you for bringing that.
We love alliteration here on Gear Abby.
We do. We truly do. Like, keep it coming. deargearabby@gmail.com. All right. So Bubblegut Boris, BGB. In short, yes, there are limits. These fancy schmancy devices can't do everything. You knew that. I know that. We're all going to know that. And now your customers will definitely know that. So most backpacking-friendly filters and purifiers are designed to get rid of bacteria and protozoa, and in some cases also viruses. What they generally can't get rid of are things like, you guessed it, toxic algae, chemical runoff, or for the most part, and I'm going to put an asterisk here and we'll come back to it, things like heavy metals. But we'll go a little quick over the basics. Filters like Life Straw, Sawyer Squeeze, Platypus Quick Draw, and the Catadine Be Free use a cluster of tiny hollow fiber tubes to block out the bacteria and protozoa. I remember getting my Platypus Quick Draw and opening it and looking and being able to, you could see all the little like openings for them. It's kind of cool. But this can filter out those bacteria, the protozoa, and even microplastics if the filter size is tiny enough. Most of these types of filters, however, don't do a great job of keeping viruses from joining the party, so you might want to try out for that a UV device that's like a SteriPen, or a chemical that basically neutralizes. It doesn't kill them. It basically makes them unable to reproduce. So something like Aquamira, this bleach comes in here. I knew a guy on the PCT who just bleached his water every day. I'm like, oh, it's disgusting, dude. There's options. Yeah. Yeah, that was his preferred method. He's like, it's easy. I can get bleach anywhere. It's like, you could also just buy
basically just the dollop of bleach and everything that he's drinking.
Yeah, and then you have to let it
it's
sit.
like drinking chlorinated water,
It works.
I guess. Yeah,
it works,
totally.
But it tastes bleachy.
Yeah, right. Maybe he's into it.
I guess. He had me try it once. He's like, look, I put lemon drops in it. I'm like, it just tastes like lemon bleach. I feel like I'm drinking household cleaner right now. But he never got sick, so I don't know. There are some souped up, like portable purifiers. That is
more alliteration.
Sometimes the alliteration is hard for me. Like when saying garage grown gear, G. But yeah, so there's some really souped up purifiers that can actually remove most of the heavy metals and even microplastics, along with viruses, bacteria, and protozoa. Grail makes the Ultra Press, which uses a combo of activated carbon and electrical charges. I don't know why I said them in that voice.
We have to bring back your accent counter.
Oh my gosh, what episode was that? That was funny.
I don't remember, but it was funny.
It just kept, sometimes you could tell the coffee's kicked in. The run, I've got the run endorphins and the coffee now.
But not the runs.
But not the runs, thankfully, because I filter my water properly. I use Grail's Ultra Press. But it's a little over 12 ounces, so it's a lot heavier than most of the options out there that backpackers are using. MSR also makes the Guardian Purifier. That pump can remove viruses in addition to the usual suspects. And it's because it has a really tiny hollow fiber size. So there are options. So if you want kind of a one thing fits all, you could try the Grail. I'd say that's probably the fanciest option right now.
That's a cool brand.
Yeah.
I like what Grail's doing.
Yeah, they've got some good travel bottles and things. So notice, Bubblegut, I did not mention algae, and that's because even the combined superpowers of modern outdoor tech cannot filter out or neutralize toxic algae. So the best way for you and your customers to avoid this and other toxins like chemical runoff is just to learn how to recognize their presence and steer clear altogether. So I'd say for that, Avoid drinking water located near, any sort of manufacturing or processing plant. Common sense there. Avoid stagnant water if at all possible. I know it's not always possible, but if you're pulling from a lake, look for an inlet or an outlet to grab from. Something that's running is just going to have it's less opportunity for everything to kind of gather and multiply in its disgusting masses. Avoid water sources that look like they were pumped straight out of the nuclear plant in The Simpsons. Anything that's day glow green. I am too much alliteration in my life this morning. My mouth cannot handle it.
Usually you've planned the alliteration in your answers, like your puns. So this is like watching you trip up here is a little interesting. I'm not used to this.
Colin is smiling a little too broadly right now. Well, Gear Abby struggles. Maybe only half a cup of coffee for me next time.
More coffee.
Double the run, half the coffee. 3 times the runs. But yeah, avoid anything day glow green or slimy, has an oily sheen to it, looks fuzzy with pond scum, especially in the hotter months. Just use your eyes, use your common sense. If you feel revolted looking at it and thinking about putting it in your mouth, then don't. I mean, it's common sense. Tell them Gear Abby said that. You can repeat that to your customers.
Don't put it in your mouth.
Don't put it in your mouth.
Gear Abby.
Signed Gear Abby. Do you guys want that in a sticker? Just let us know.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah, that is. It's a whole clothing line we'll be debuting later this year. But yeah, so basically if you're unsure of the source, but you absolutely need to drink it, you're so thirsty, you're going to die, throw everything you have its way. But remember, toxic algae, it's not going to work no matter what you try. But I'd say start by filtering it through something like a bandana just to get the chunks out. Then start moving through the rest of whatever other filtration you have with you, whether it's mechanical filter, UV, chemical. And if you want, bring a chunk of activated charcoal or carbon with you. If you're nervous, this can actually be a good final step to help sort of mitigate any of those natural contaminants and make the water taste a bit better. You could basically just buy these as replacement pieces for certain filters, or you could go to a pet shop and see if they've got them in the, usually in the aquarium section or sometimes in the cat and dog section where they've got the water I was going to say the bubblers because I'm from Wisconsin and that's what we drink our water out of. But the water fountains.
That's a New England thing too.
That's right. It is.
Yeah. You get it from the bubbler.
Get it from the, yeah. We just don't say it. Like, we're like, oh my gosh, go to the bubbler. Oh, oh no. Now you're doing the accent counter. I can already hear the ding in my head.
We may have to bring it back.
We may. But anyway, well, Boris, I won't make you listen to any more bad accents. But if you are truly worried, remember most adults can live up to 3 days without water. And best of luck to you in avoiding the dysentery demons.
Yeah, not very bougie to live without water. So the first person might be a little disappointed with this answer if that's your recommendation. But yeah, or just go backpacking in the Pacific Northwest only.
Is the water extra fresh up there?
The water's great in the Pacific Northwest.
Except for those sources that look exactly like what I just described.
Exactly. Avoid those.
Well, hello, my outdoorsy friends. It's your favorite time of the week. That's right. It's time to head to the official gear garage of Gear Abby, Garage Grown Gear. Our friends over at GGG are here to make sure that all of you, that's all Gear Abby's outdoorsy friends, can get the newest outdoor stuff that you need for your next adventure. What kind of stuff, you ask? Well, how about some new gear from Lightworks? That's right, this is a new brand to me. They've got, their big centerpiece is the Daily Dose 55-liter pack, and then you can get all the accessories you want, like the Lightworks shoulder strap pocket, water bottle carrier, or hip belt pocket. All right, if you're not looking for a new backpack, how about a sleeping bag? Garage Grown Gear has 6 new bags from Polish brand Cumulus, who claim to make the lightest sleeping bags in the world. Well, whatever you're looking for, Garage Grown Gear and your buddy Gear Abby are the perfect outdoor combo. So get shopping by heading over to garagegrowngear.com right now. Winter's unpredictably mild one week, freezing the next. I grew up in the Midwest and every inch of snow was exciting until it melted into a soupy mess. And then to make things worse, it would refreeze on every flat surface, making walking across it impossible. Going outside became its own adventure, and that includes choosing what to wear. That's why people have trusted Fjällräven jackets for more than 50 years. Born and tested in Sweden, they're made to handle everything from everyday cold to true Arctic extremes. The philosophy's simple: build outerwear that performs, protects, and lasts. From the Keb GTX jacket to the Expedition Pack-Down hoodie, you'll find something to suit the winter conditions you know are on the way for your neck of the woods. Get ready for winter and make cold optional by heading to fjällräven.com. That was a good one. I kind of like that. I loved that email. I loved the sign off. People, please be
Yes.
creative. I feel
BGB and the chunky algae. I'm all into it.
I would go see that. I saw that band in the 90s.
The chunky algae.
BGB and the Chunky Algae.
Oh my God.
I feel like they were opening for like the B-52s or something.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Or Reverend Horton Heat.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they're a rockabilly band.
Yeah.
Rockabilly, right?
BGB and the chunky algae. Yeah, that's for sure. They're definitely a rockabilly band.
And they're still playing like 30 years later. They're just playing
without a doubt.
like the local, Elk Lodge circuit.
This is our one song that got to number 50 on the subculture alternative. No one listens to a chart, but we're proud of it. You know it.
Woo! All right, man. Question number 3. Hit me.
All right. Dear Abby, I'm a college student who has recently become interested in thru hiking and backpacking. Okay, so far tailor-made for Dear Abby.
Perfect. A+.
I have also recently discovered your podcast, and I love it.
Yes.
I'm all caps, so I'm trying to sell that there. Your episode about poop really spoke to me.
Wait,
Don't
what
know which
episode
one.
was that? That's all episodes.
All of the above. Your episode about poop really spoke to me as someone who both farts and poops semi-regularly. # hot girl tummy issues. My question for you is, what should one do if they were hiking and suddenly Mr. Henke gets a fast pass to Splash Mountain, a.k.a. sharting? Thank you, a smelly and sincere child of the corn. And she spells corn like the band Corn. I don't know if we're
Korn. Oh, that is truly an iconic email.
Yeah, this is an all-timer. We may have to frame this one.
If we were giving awards out at the end of the year, the Gear Abbey Awards, this would be the listener email question award.
I think we're going to now.
I think we are now. Now we have to decide, what does the award look like, though? Is it just like a Mr. Hanky statue?
It's a bidet.
It's a bidet.
It's a
oh my gosh, you're
backpacking
right.
bidet.
It's a backpacking bidet. Wow. Yeah. You know what? Totally appropriate email, though, to follow the water filter question.
Very much so. I mentioned some sharting can ensue, depending on your chunky algae situation.
That's true.
Yeah.
An hour later at some point. Well, all right, child of the corn. On a previous episode, you might remember, if you've been listening, I mentioned the logbook of thru hiker confessions that I found in the hut on Muir Pass on the PCT this past summer. Yeah, good stuff. Here's a relevant entry that I took a photo of because it was excellent. Quote, most days, at least I can say, well, I didn't shit my pants. Not today. A fart went wrong on my climb up there. Then I was desperately clenching while trying to dig on unforgiving rock. The view was nice, though. End quote. The wild thing is, this was just one of several entries I read from this summer alone that dealt with a shart or poop in the pants situation. So
Wait, was this your entry after your Whitney situation?
No, Whitney was at the end, and also no sharts this summer. Let's actually start by defining that word, because I think not everyone's going to be familiar with it. If it's not obvious, it's a slang term for the much more imposing sounding. I actually looked this up because I was curious if this comes up in medical texts at all. It does, and they call it fecal incompetence. You're not good at being fecal, you loser.
That's the Urban Dictionary definition of shart.
No
way
was from
that's real.
Medline or something. Fecal.
How can you be incompetent at fecal? It'd be like
the fecal is it's the fecal matter that's incompetent, not you.
It has its own personality.
So basically, yeah. All right. Shart is a portmanteau. I've never said that word out loud. Portmanteau.
You just did.
It's when you smush the two words together, like baritory and barito and Bermuda Triangle.
And Baria.
And Baria. See, now you're doing it. I've poisoned you.
You're in my head, Gear Abby.
That's where I belong. But yeah, so you're smushing together the words shit and fart. The idea is that you toot and whoops, wait a minute. That wasn't just air. So at face value, this might seem like a jokey question, but Child is actually bringing up something that's not that uncommon, as evidenced by the logbook, but for a number of reasons. So you could have fecal incompetence, which I'm just going to be saying all day now, from things like muscle and nerve damage. You could have it because you have IBS, Crohn's disease. You could have norovirus or something. Your dietary freakouts from eating something that just doesn't agree. From holding it is not. So this is a warning shot to all of the people out there who hate pooping outside. Learn to get comfortable with it, because actually holding it in your bowels can lead to fecal incompetence. So always go if you feel the urge. But yeah, this is an upsetting occurrence anywhere, but it's especially horrible when you're out far away from a bathroom with running water or in a change of clothes in some cases. Maybe you're not backpacking or you didn't bring stuff. But let's talk about this. There's ways to deal with it. And, I'm gonna help you, or at least I'll help you because I am not touching it with a 10-foot pole. So if you have a digestive system that's prone to mutiny, always carry wipes. Like, I cannot recommend that enough. Carry a baggie to store the used wipes.
You should know better.
Yeah, you got to know better.
Yeah.
This is on you.
Yeah.
Carry your wipes, corn, all of us, and carry a little baggie to carry them out in. And honestly, carry a change of underwear. Usually it doesn't go through to the second layer of clothing. So, and if it does, it's just a small little thing, but carry a change of underwear if you have digestive issues and if you've had issues in the past with like urgency and stuff. This is a very normal thing that happens to a lot of people, but just be prepared for it. There's actually a company called, best company name ever. It's called Butt Napkins.
I'm aware.
We should get them as a sponsor, Colin. Come on, Butt Napkins. You belong on the Gear Abbey podcast.
Are you speaking it into the algorithm for reality?
But if I just say butt napkins 3 times,
it'll appear.
Butt napkins. But you know what I love? They actually make these little emergency kits. And I'm not usually one to carry a bunch of extra stuff. Like, I like to streamline my pack. But they make a kit called the Code Brown bag. And it's a good little emergency kit if you should find yourself having a surprise, poo situation out there. And it's one of those things you could just toss in a backpack or in a, purse or fanny pack or whatever, just in case. And okay, another thing you could be carrying, you have heard me wax poetic about it just recently. Bidets.
Yeah, like 90 seconds ago.
Yeah, always, every day. This is actually a great instance where you could use the bidet and a tiny dropper bottle of soap if you want to clean your body, and you can use it to clean your clothes if you need to. I love the bidet. All of you need to carry a bidet. It should be your 11th essential. Did I just do another voice? What's wrong with me today? Oh, wow. Okay.
When does your bidet cult meet? Is it like a Tuesday night? Like, when do you guys get together and have a group cleaning?
You wish you could join us. I'm not telling you until you've earned your place in our cult. Okay. Oh man. So corn, child of the corn. If you don't have any special cleanup tools, you really should though. If you don't, try to find a little privacy, assess what you do have. Do you have TP? Do you have a baggie to carry it out? We'll start there. If you don't, look around for non-poisonous leaves. Let me emphasize the non-poisonous part. I cannot emphasize enough that it's important to know if you live in an area with poison oak, poison ivy, stinging nettle, know what they look like in all seasons.
What's the worst of that? Everyone thinks the poison oak and ivy, but the stinging nettles may be the worst on that list.
I know, it's hard to say. I'm not going to test it out. I'm sorry to tell you, so you'll never know. Gonna just let my butt be free of that horribleness, but I don't know, because poison oak and poison ivy can leave blisters. So.
That's true. Long term versus the immediate pain of the stinging nettles. Yeah,
I don't know, man. If you are worried about using a plant and you are a little nervous, if you have hand sanitizer with you, just rub the hand sanitizer on whatever the plant touched. And that's a good way to neutralize it and nip it in the bud if you can. But anyway, other things you can wipe your butt with: smooth rocks, smooth sticks. Again, smooth. Don't pick up things that have bark hanging off the half of it or sharp crystals coming out of the rocks. You don't want to experiment with that. This is not the day for it. We don't kink shame, but this is not the day for experimentation. So yeah, try wiping. Snow is a great wipe. Maybe if you're lucky, it'll freeze your butthole into submission for a little bit. And if you can't find any of these, maybe you're out in the desert or something, poke around in your pack. Maybe you've got a bandana, buff, something else made out of fabric that you don't mind sacrificing to the poo gods. Use whatever you have at your disposal. And as gross as this may sound, please pack it out with you. I know you're not going to want to carry something covered in duty, but just wrap it up in itself, wrap it up in another item, stick it in an outside pocket if you've got a pack, or carry it like you would carry a doggy poo bag. You got to take it out with you and throw it away. If you don't have a way to clean up at all, but you're feeling self-conscious, just do the classic, tie a piece of clothing around your waist to hide your butt maneuver. Okay? Jacket, shirt, foil space blanket if that's what you have. Just use what you have and deal with the issue. And above all else, Like, don't be embarrassed, okay? There is a high chance that we will face much more frequent incontinence as we get older, that fecal incompetence is going to increase. So, you know what? It's okay. This is a temporary blip in your sphincter's function. Bodies are going to body. Be glad yours took you to what is hopefully a very beautiful place in which to shart.
I really have nothing else to add. I think you kind of covered it all.
We've stunned Colin into silence. Yes.
I really was. I got it. Usually you're talking. I'm like, well, here's sort of, maybe an opposing point of view. And this, I'm like, you got it.
You're like,
nice job.
I feel like, are we going to do something special today? I feel like we got something special.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a few episodes. The listeners have spoken. They want more. What's in my pack? So what are you testing right now, Gear Abby?
Is that the official? Is that how we're saying it now?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make a sound effect. It's just going to be me going, what's in my pack?
I'm trying to figure out who you sounded like when you did that. I like that you had to clear your throat first. Let me prepare for this.
Perfect,
excellent.
What's
in my pack? I can't even
What's
do it.
in my pack? Am I doing a Will Ferrell doing Harry Carey? Am I comboing?
Entirely possible. Wow, that's an obscure reference, and I like it. I mean, not the Will Ferrell. I think not everybody's going to know who Harry Carey is, but wow. All right. Well, what's in my pack, Colin? Let me tell you.
I can't wait.
Yeah, obviously, from the sound of your voice. All right. So what's in my pack? This is the segment we introduced a couple episodes ago that we're going to hold space. We're going to hold space for gear reviews because a lot of you want more gear reviews and things like that. So
I would like to ask, not to interrupt you, Gear Abby, but if you want more of those, and how much more would you like? We'd like to hear your feedback on gear reviews. Do you want to get deep? Do we need second episode kind of stuff?
Yeah. Do you want us to do deep dives? Like, how is this made or whatever?
Right. There's
in.
all sorts of things we can do, but we want to know what you think. Do you want more gear reviews from Gear Abby? Let us know. Weigh in the comments.
Dear Gear Abby at
gmail.com.
Weigh in the comments. Okay, Colin. Wow. So, all right. Well, let's dive into what I'm reviewing right now. I've actually been trying out meal replacement pouches from RecPack. That's RecPak. I actually first saw these last summer when I was backpacking with my friend Merrick from Rology, who we should have on the show at some point.
Merrick's gotten quite a few mentions here on Gear Abby. I feel like he gets called out regularly. Yeah,
well, Merrick is one of my favorite backpacking buddies. So
there you go.
That's right. We actually went hiking yesterday morning. But he is one of my favorite things about Merrick. He is a total performance nerd. He is a gym dude. He is a performance nutrition nerd, and he has become like my personal protein influencer. I know that I could go to him anytime I have a question like, what supplements should I be taking? Is this bullshit? Is this not? He's my personal Gear Abby for like nutrition and stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I was absolutely intrigued when he busted out one of these packs. When we were backpacking last summer, and it looks like a comically large baby food pouch. And he just poured some water in. For
comically large babies?
For comically large babies. It's a very niche market, okay? But yeah, he poured some water in, shook it around, and he just started chugging. And I tried it. It was good. It was the chocolate flavor, which they still make. So here's the deal. We'll give you a little overview, and then I'll dig into what I think of it. The company was launched by a Marine veteran named Deed Ziegler. And I have to say, that is the most awesome comic book name I have ever heard. I had to look like 3 times to make sure it's real.
Like, what a name. Like, just everybody, 10 out of 10, no notes. Your name is Deed Ziegler. Like, wow.
That is, like, are you a video game character? I love it.
Seriously.
I love this. And for that alone, kudos you, okay? Great name. Even if you were born with it, good job. But yeah, so Deed wanted a lightweight, tasty meal option that was packed with nutrients that would keep people fueled when they were really pushing their bodies. Of course, Deed comes from the military world, but is also an outdoor person. So just thinking about like, all right, where can we get like a good calorie to weight ratio? Where can we get good nutrition, like all in a small packet? Although the packet itself, like the pouch is quite large, they actually remind me of those absolutely horrible bags that they give you when you buy a Sawyer squeeze filter that break all the time. Any backpacker that has used them knows exactly what I'm talking about. But basically, it's about 5.9 ounces for 700 calories. And I was very impressed by the macros, that is the macronutrients, 40 grams of protein and an entire, I know, I was like, holy shit, and that's one serving. And an entire drugstore's worth of vitamins in each of those servings. So, and a serving is a whole bag. So it's just the whole shebang. You add the whole thing is this. You add 6 ounces or 6 to 8 ounces, they say, of water. Shake it up once, like do a good shake up and kind of knead around if you feel clumps. Then add another 6 to 8 ounces. Shake it again, and it should be pretty well constituted. There are going to be some clumps. I've tried it. Maybe I'm not shaking it hard enough. I do find little clumps here and there, but you can get rid of most of them. And then drink up to your heart's content. They supposedly stay good for 2 to 4 days as long as it's not hot out. But Merrick did point out when he was finishing his chocolate bag later in the day, and it was kind of a warm day, that it does go down easier when it's cold. So I would recommend, do cold
So it's
water.
kind of like the colonoscopy stuff.
Colonoscopy stuff.
Mix it with cold ice water. Don't drink that warm.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I think it's meant to be cold. I think they say do it at any temperature, but my personal experience is that the colder, the better. And the taste is pretty good on these. I mean, I will say the chocolate to me tasted like a pretty regulation issue protein shake. The vanilla chai was good. That's a different kind of flavor. I liked the spice level was good. You got a coffee flavored one. That one does come with caffeine if the 40 grams of protein aren't enough. And it's marketed as being easy to digest. So it's gluten-free, but it does contain whey protein, which can be hard to digest for some people. And by some people, I mean me. And I was definitely a little farty.
What malady
at the party.
don't you have at this point?
No, I have it all. I like to test. See, I'm not just testing gear. I'm testing
That's a good point.
physical issues.
We're going to put a camera on Shawnté and just have her eat 3 pieces of wheat bread and watch the process unfold.
No, that's for my OnlyFans. I got to get into that. That's a real niche market. This is how I'm going to make my millions.
I bet there were people who would pay for that.
But let's not encourage them. If I get any
shame them.
emails, I'm blaming you. Remember when somebody asked if they could buy my pit stained shirt a couple months ago?
Yes, I do. Which also, like, it was just like, and it just looked nasty too. Like the shirt just looked worn out.
It
like,
was.
Yeah,
They worked hard
for
to make
good
it look
reason.
like
Yes,
that.
of course. Who's the person looking at that going, oh yeah.
No,
I
but
need
I
that in my life.
I blocked him. Oh man. But yeah, so that for me it was a little I don't digest whey protein well. I do kind of wish there was a vegan option or a veggie option, whatever. Like pea protein or something. But from a portability standpoint, as a backpacker, it's a lot of packaging for like a breakfast item or a drink. Although it is smaller and more lightweight than a lot of the prepackaged dinners. So I think they're thinking about that because they have reached out to a lot of backpackers, like a lot of people in the community. And I think they're like, hey, if you want to have 700 calories in liquid form, it is going to be lighter than like a backpacker's pantry. And if you can tolerate whey, it's not going to be as farty as a backpacker's pantry. So So, and they also say this is meant for people on the go in a lot of different ways. So I would carry one with me as kind of an emergency food item on a day hike or, a long remote trail run, bike ride, or even on travel days when I might strike out with airport food. I could see this being a really good option. I think for me, the only thing, like my big ding would be that while the giant, grade school lunch pouch format probably works well for a lot of people who do their work in remote areas, they actually mention wildland firefighters, for instance, on the website. I think for more traditional outdoors, we'd probably want this to come in smaller packets that we could add to our own water bottles. I think some of us just also have PTSD from all the Sawyer pouches that have sprung a leak out in the field. So I don't know. That's my take on it. Tastes good. Sure does pack in the punch with all the nutrients and the vitamins and everything. And the calories to weight ratio is great. But, probably a limited use case for people that are backpacking unless you don't mind, replacing a dinner meal with this or something. I don't know. Colin, would you try it if I sent you a pouch of food?
Oh, I would
Liquid
definitely
food?
try it.
Okay.
I mean, I think when it comes to this stuff, I'm always kind of fascinated, especially how things taste and what the process is to get it to taste that way and everything. I think you nailed it though. Like in terms of like more traditional outdoor things, I mean, there's so many options that are much more sort of convenient and probably do all the same things that this does from a nutrition standpoint.
Right.
This is a really big. I'll link it in the footnotes and we'll have it in the show notes of the episode as well.
Awesome.
You can see how big this thing is.
It's large.
But it is. But that's where like if it's in you've been at an aid station during an ultramarathon, and here's 700 calories.
Yep.
If there's, you have it, if you're a firefighter, if you're kind of out doing field work, those kinds of things.
Oh, yeah,
where
like
it's not much of a
scientists out in the
consideration,
field. That could be great.
right? But I think in most sort of human-powered outdoor endeavors, it's a little much. I'd rather buy, like 2 Pro bars is going to be about 700 calories, and so it's kind of like there's ways you could probably plan for it, unless you just really like it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool that people are trying to do different things like this.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting.
And I do think it's worth reiterating the idea of the digestibility of it. It's going to be a lot easier than eating solid foods to digest for most people, unless you have a sensitivity to whey, like I do. I think that digestion aspect could be really appealing to a lot of people too. So yeah, I think check it out. Check out the show notes and chug it down if you want.
Chug it down.
Make it cold. Chug it down.
Get that good. Chug it. Then you get the dysentery demons and the fecal incompetence, and it's just all we hit on all the topics in one. It's all together.
Well, that is it for this episode of Gear Abby. Until next time, send your burning questions about your relationships with outdoor people, products, places, and pastimes over to us at deargearabby@gmail.com. And I'm going to do my best to answer them or find someone else who can. And of course, head over to your podcast listening service of choice and subscribe, rate, and review to support the pod and personally make my day. And follow us on Instagram at GearAbbyPod. In the meantime, today's episode was produced by David Karstad and Colin True. Art direction provided by the wonderful Sarah Gensert. I'm Shawnté Salabert, and remember, there are no dumb questions, just smart advice.